And he's looking at me like, didn't we just talk about it? And I'm like, it takes two to tango, home slice. And so we're having this like unspoken conversation. Hi friends, and welcome back to AmandaMuse. So today we are going back in the history books and we're gonna do like Birth Story Revisited. So to bring everybody up to speed and on the same page, my husband and I moved to Malaysia in 2010. He had a job there, and so we were based out there, and we ended up living there for about 4.5, nearly 5 years. First birth was a water birth gone wrong. So this is with my daughter Esme. Water birth turned south, ended up like a table birth. There were forceps. Oh my God, it was painful. And then in the end, I ended up having an emergency C-section, and I really struggled postpartum with that. I was in no rush to have any more babies. I felt my body wasn't ready. I still felt very like sensitive actually in my incision area. I just like knew I didn't want any part of it. I was still breastfeeding. So let's fast forward about a year. So Esme was 18 months old, and it's funny because I remember talking to my good friend, and we've had children around the same time. But I remember sitting there having this conversation, and she was like, so do you think you're gonna have another one? I was like, maybe we'll start trying when Esme is 18 months old. Like, I am not in a rush. I first of all didn't even have my cycles back because I was breastfeeding. I'm one of those people, it took a long time to get my cycle back. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I just, nope. I felt like I was barely surviving with one. What the heck was I trying to get myself into with two? So there was that. And then, okay, things happen. I suppose this is where things get interesting because I clearly remember a conversation with my husband, and Esme was sleeping more. Life was fun again, if you catch my drift. But I remember a conversation where he said to me, you know, I think I'm good with just one child. And I was like, what? Just because I wasn't ready didn't mean I didn't want more children. I was like, hold on a second. Like, when did that happen? I mean, we'd always kind of had this unspoken thing about having 2 kids. At least I thought we did. This would be a typical Amanda planning situation. I think it is, therefore it shall be. No, Amanda, you have to have this discussion. So I'm also a little bit more like spontaneous with certain elements in my life. I have a hard time to commit. So even when we were like trying for Esme, I really didn't even consider it trying. I never would have said to somebody it was trying. It was just like what was happening. I don't know. It's hard to explain. That said, I remember Dean and I having this conversation, and I was very upset by this because I don't want to seem so entitled that I just assumed I would have another one. I would hope. So that was my plan. I was hoping for 2. Okay. Boy, girl, girl, boy, whatever situation, whatever the scenario was, 2. Cool. Okay, so we had this conversation. I was a little bit miffed. Life goes on, we go about our lives, and I remember I took our car by ourselves. So I was by myself, Dean was home. Oh no, Dean wasn't even home. Dean was traveling, because he's a pilot, and Esme was home with our ama, so our nanny, and I was just running a few errands, and it's really, really hot in Penang, Malaysia. And so if there was an opportunity midday for me to go run errands by myself, gladly, because it was just in that bucket seat, and Esme so little and chubby and sweaty and sleepy, and honestly it was overwhelming to me. And so her staying home in the air conditioning was like way better. I don't even know why I'm explaining this to you because we all get it. To run errands by yourself is way better. So okay, I end up downtown. Well, we were having a little bit of trouble with our car, and I was like, another reason our air conditioning was intermittent. You kind of need air conditioning. And so, especially as like a Western girl, okay, with like Irish roots, I cannot be sitting in that heat. Okay, so I'm driving downtown. Would you believe my car just like shuts off? I'm coasting through like this little financial area in downtown Penang, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I swerved the car over, like nothing was working. I had a little old Kia Sportage, Sportage I guess they call it. So I swerved my little car over, I stop it, and I'm thinking like, what am I gonna do? I barely know what to do when I'm in like North America, and now I'm in Malaysia and this car isn't working. I'm like, just burn it to the ground. Like, what am I gonna do with this? So I put on some flashy lights, whatever they're called, the caution lights, and I'm starting to panic, and I am hot because it is hot and I have no air conditioning. Well, there's like a Subway like one store down. So I'm like, okay, I'll just leave the car, compose myself, I'll get a drink, and then I'll call my driver, because we had this driver guy, Kamal, who his job truly was a taxi driver, but he was way more than that. Like, he helped our family just everything. I can't even that's a story for another day, but he was incredible. So in times of stress, I would call him and be like, Kamal, help me. So I go into Subway and I get it figured out. I'm gonna call the mechanic. So I come out to the car. I want to get my little thing that has like, you know, in the car that has all the car information. No car. Car is gone. And I'm like, where's my car? There's a point to the story, by the way. You're wondering how in the heck is this related to a pregnancy story? I subsequently start to cry hysterically. Is this flashing? Did I tell you about the hysterical crying with Esme? Well, shoot, now I can't remember if I did. Well, I'm crying so hard that I can't stop crying. I don't know how to stop crying at this point. I'm like, I physically can't. So I go, there's like a little tourist place. So I go to this little tourist place and this adorable woman with her hijab, and she's so sweet, and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, like I can't stop crying. I'm like, I'm gonna sit. So I sit down, finally compose myself, like, get your shit together, Amanda. And I'm like, my car? I don't know where it went. Like logically it got towed. Like what, nobody stole it. So I call Kamal and he's kind of laughing at me and he's like, it's okay, I'll come get you. We'll go to the tow place, we'll get it sorted. So I'm trying to tell the guys, you know, their English is not so great, but I'm telling them what happened and they're like, okay. And then I turn on my car and it works perfectly fine. And I'm like, oh, I was so embarrassed, but there was something wrong. It ended up we had to get the car fixed. But the part that I'm trying to emphasize is the hysterical crying. When I fell pregnant with Esme, I had this hysterical cry about my dog, and it was very traumatic. Like it was a whole thing. So when I got home that night, I was like, that was weird. Why was I crying so much? I certainly am an emotional person. I will cry at things, but not to that extent. And I was like, I'm rested, I'm fed, my blood sugar wasn't low. Like, what's going on? Trigger, warning, little light bulb moment. So the next day, I should pee on a stick, basically. So I had like one of those really, really sensitive ones. Like they're like the little cheapy ones. So I did my thing. And then it's like sitting on top of the toilet, and so we're all brushing our teeth. Me, Esme, and Dean, we're all brushing our teeth. And he's like, oh, what's that? I was like, well, I was feeling a little weird. I had that big cry, and it kind of surprised me as to why I reacted that way. So I thought I would just check to see if I was pregnant. And he's like, oh, and he's looking at me like, didn't we just talk about it? And I'm like, it takes two to tango, home slice. And so we're having this like unspoken conversation. And then I look at it and I'm like, huh. And I look at Dean and I'm like, I start to laugh because in awkward situations I will laugh. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, don't even mess around. And he grabs it and he's just like, what color is the second line supposed to be? Which killed me at that point because I was like, oh, okay, so there's two lines? He's like, yes, what color is it supposed to be? And I was like, that's not the point. The point is the second line. Oh, I laughed. I think anybody that has like a pee on a stick addiction will appreciate that. I had a good laugh about that, but it was like really faint. I thought, okay, maybe, how often do false positives happen? They've never happened to me. I either am or I am not, basically. And so, okay, so like later that day, I went out and got like the good tests, peed on a bunch of those. They all came back pregnant. And I was like, surprise! On that note, my sweet baby has just arrived home. So Jackie, come here for a second.
Show Mom the super zombie squeegee.
Oh my gosh, it's a zombie. What are we doing with this? Just for fun? Put them to work. I was just saying how when you came out of my tummy, you were so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is Jack, and we decided on River. It was going to be Jack, River. What was the other one? Jack Bear.
Jack Bear.
It's either going to be Jack Bear or Jack River.
Jack Bear.
No, you are a Jack River.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Here's a good name.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
JR.
Jack River.
Who knows?
Jack River Outfitters and Fly-In Fishing Camp.
Exactly. Jack River Films. Nice.
I got my
Should we say bye to everybody? And we got shoes. We got really cool shoes. All right, guys. That's it. That's my story with Jackie. I hope you have a wonderful day. You want to say bye?
Oh, he's just a baby. Oh, he's just a baby.
All right, guys. We're off. I've done enough rambling. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in my next video. Either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you later.